Trent McDuffie had a really good rookie season. The debate last year was Sauce Gardner versus Tariq Woolen for best rookie corner. To me, I thought Sauce had the best rookie year I've ever seen for a cornerback, and then the real debate was Tariq Woolen versus Trent McDuffie. But McDuffie's taken a major step forward this year, and up to this point, he's been playing at an all-pro level. For most of his career, he's been an outside corner. That's where he played to start out his rookie season. But in week 16 last year, they moved him to the slot and moved L'Jarius Sneed outside. Now he's playing over 50% of his snaps in the slot, and the results of that switch have been great for Trent McDuffie and the Chiefs defense. He was a phenomenal run defender in college, but playing on the outside, it's a lot harder to make much of an impact in that phase because you're pretty much relying on offenses running the ball to the sideline. But playing in the slot, he's much closer to the ball and more involved in the run fit, and we're seeing Trent McDuffie take over games as a run defender. In his first 9 NFL games, he had 1 run stop. In his next 11, where he's been mostly lined up at nickel, he's had 13 run stops, and that number doesn't even include the impact he's made defending screen passes. Right here, the Bears have Khalil Herbert lined up off the tackle. They're running a quick screen with 2 receivers blocking. McDuffie engages quickly, blows up this first block from Darnell Mooney, and then he sheds the block, strips the ball out, and forces a fumble. On this play from week 1, the Lions are running a bubble screen. Great job taking on this block from Amon-Ra St. Brown. Once he gets within closing distance, he tosses the block aside, pops the ball out. Brian Cook's able to recover. This isn't really run defense, but while we're on the topic of forced fumbles, he made this game-ending play on Thursday night. He drops back into the hook zone. Russell Wilson checks it down. Again, Trent McDuffie leads with his head into the ball, forces the fumble. Justin Reed's able to recover, and the Chiefs win the game. His block shedding ability is really impressive for someone of his size. Right here, he just tosses Josh Reynolds aside, makes the run stop. He saved a touchdown against the Jets right here. They're running outside zone. Willie Gay kind of over pursues into this B gap and leaves the cutback lane open, but McDuffie's able to chase him down from the outside, bring him down by his jersey. And then there's a lot of plays on his tape where he might not necessarily make the tackle or make the stop, but he's just dismantling blocks from receivers and tight ends, driving them back 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and creating traffic that the running back has to navigate around. One of the things that made L'Jarius Sneed such a great fit as the nickel in Spags defense is his pass rushing ability, and he hasn't gotten a sack yet, but they've blitzed Trent McDuffie 22 times this year, and he has 4 quarterback hits. Most pass rushing for a DB is going to be unblocked, but there is skill involved as far as accelerating to your top speed quickly and then being able to bend your path directly to the quarterback and navigate around the protection without losing any momentum. Heat-seeking missile is kind of a cliche term, but it really is the best descriptor for Trent McDuffie in pursuit. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and also follow us on all of our social medias. The links to those are in the description. So the problem, quote unquote, with having a really good defensive back is they're still dependent on the offense and the quarterback to give them opportunities to make plays, but you move them inside where they're much closer to the action, you're going to hear their name get called a lot more often. That's why the Rams moved Jalen Ramsey into the slot a few years ago. It's not that he couldn't play outside, it was just harder for him to make an impact. And McDuffie still has that top tier coverage ability. He's such a complete cover corner. He'll give up a few plays occasionally, that's just life in the NFL, but from the standpoint of a receiver trying to scout Trent McDuffie and figure out ways to beat him, there's no true consistent weakness to his game. He can play physical press man, he's balanced and under control at the line of scrimmage, and he has the speed to turn and accelerate and stick with anyone down the field. He had some elite one-on-one reps against Justin Jefferson in week 5. Right here, he's running a slot fade. Jefferson's trying to wipe down with his inside arm, but good job by McDuffie of staying firm with his hand placement. He works to stay on top of the route, and then once Jefferson looks back to find the football, McDuffie has that ability to maintain his top speed and still get his head turned around. He somehow doesn't have a pass breakup this year. This is one of those examples where he doesn't technically record a pass breakup because the safety Mike Edwards provides good help over the top. He also has the foot quickness and hip fluidity to stick really tight to the route break. On this play, Justin Jefferson's running a corner route from the slot. He releases outside. Good job by McDuffie to stay in phase through the transition. And then you get to the top of the route, you can see Jefferson selling upfield to try to create as much separation as possible on this lateral break. But Trent McDuffie watches film and he knows this route's coming. Justin Jefferson leads the NFL in routes, targets, receptions, and yards off of corner routes in the last 3 years. A lot of DBs in this situation will be so worried about getting beat over the top that when Jefferson starts to accelerate and face the end zone, they'll lean their weight displacement downfield, and then Jefferson's so smooth out of his break they can't stick with him. But McDuffie's patient anticipating this break. He's got some safety help over the top, and he just stays right on Jefferson's hip through the entire route. And then he also has elite start-stop ability. This play, you can see the contrast between McDuffie and Jalen Watson sinking their hips and stopping their momentum. Now, Calvin Ridley runs a much better route. Christian Kirk kind of stumbles out of his break, but just in terms of movement skills and anticipation, McDuffie can really cover everything on the vertical plane. And he hasn't gotten beat very much at all. I always try to include the losses along with the wins just to give you the full picture, but the one truly bad rep came against the Jets. blitz. Allen Lazard fakes the inside release, crosses him up at the line of scrimmage and releases outside, and then he runs a double move where he's faking the quick out and then accelerates downfield. McDuffie can't get back in phase, he loses track of the ball, and he gives up a big reception. He got a DPI in week 5 where he's trying to stay on top of this switch release. He's expecting this to be thrown a little bit shorter, so he holds his position over the top and gets a penalty. And then his one limitation physically is that he's not the biggest corner. I don't know if he'd be classified as undersized, but he can get boxed out by big receivers at the catch point. Right here, Cortland Sutton's able to get him on a quick slant. But I think the Chiefs have a top 2 or 3 cornerback room in the NFL. Between McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed, they have 2 corners that have proven they can play at a high level in the slot or outside, which is extremely valuable. And they've got some young players in Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson that have shown potential and should continue to develop. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments any NFL players or teams that you'd like me to cover.